Oh no, the Tesla stock dropped below $200. It's game over. It's game over, I say. Game over. This time Tesla is done for. It's done for. It will drop to $10, as Morgan Stanley said. And if Morgan Stanley says it, it has to be true, because Morgan Stanley always says the truth. They always say the truth. They never want something bad for us. They always have our best interest in mind. They want to protect us. They are so friendly. They are so nice. And Morgan Stanley would never lie. Why would they lie? Why would Morgan Stanley lie to us? Why? They have no reason to lie. They are friendly. I have to sell everything because they say it goes to $10. It goes to $10. Morgan Stanley is so friendly. They warn us. They say it could go to $10 so that we are warned. We should sell now before it's too late, because if Morgan Stanley says it, it has to be true. If Morgan Stanley says it, it has to be true. We have to sell everything now.
This is kind of a follow-up on our last video, dealing with all the negative news media FUD articles against Tesla. In that video, we explained why there is such an overwhelming amount of negative news on Tesla, and you can watch that video right here. Here in this video, we want to analyze why Tesla stock has dropped so much and what this means. Is it a buy or a sell? Well, let's find out. The last few months weren't exactly perfect for Tesla stockholders. The stock plummeted from almost all-time highs in December 2018 at $380 down to $190 just 5 months later. It basically only went down here after December.
But why exactly could that be? Okay, yes, Model 3 sales were not as impressive as in Q4 2018, but we have to keep in mind that they were still at least 150% higher than 1 year before. And the Model 3 was back in the top 10 best-selling cars in the US. Plus, the company is still growing and expanding like crazy. The Shanghai Gigafactory 3 is almost finished, and 2,000 cars a week will be produced there by the end of this year. And on top, Tesla will sell 400,000, maybe even more cars this year. That is almost twice as much as last year.
Then Tesla is 4 years ahead of competition regarding self-driving, as a study has found. Also, Tesla plans to launch the self-driving robotaxi service by 2020. So how the hell can it be that despite all this, the stock went from $380 back to levels that have last been seen 3 years ago? That was at a time before the Model 3 was even available, when Tesla only had the Model S, and only shortly before started selling the Model X. So Tesla should be now, after having hundreds of thousands of cars on the streets, be worth as much as 3 years ago? So, what happened back then? And what were the news that were driving this gigantic sell-off? Well, for one, we could back then read news like this. 2016 will be a dark chapter for this fairy tale stock as reality rears its ugly head.
This was released in January 2016. One of the reasons for these news being supposedly that the Model 3 that recently had been announced would take until 2017 to enter production. And then out of a sudden, Morgan Stanley comes out of hiding. Yes, the same Morgan Stanley that recently have released the $10 target for the Tesla stock, we could read on the very trustworthy news media site CNN Business. Elon Musk has bigger problems than super rude customers and exploding SpaceX rockets. Tesla stock has crashed and burned too.
And in that very article, we could read, and even longtime Tesla bull Adam Jonas of Morgan Stanley is suddenly feeling a little less optimistic about the electric car company. So wait, they suddenly came forth and downgraded the stock when the stock had seen a longer decline and the general mood wasn't so good. Sounds familiar? The same playbook as now. Same timing, same decline, same FUD.
And this time again a very similar situation. So could it be that those huge fluctuations in the Tesla stock be in fact due to leveraged long and short positions by big investment banks and hedge funds instead of real news driving the market price?
But no, the official reason for the decline is of course weak sales and some other worries about the company. We could, for example, read in February 2016 in Fortune, "Indeed, Concerns about Tesla's slow Model X production are a common theme among investors. Last month, the company's shares dropped over 8% in just one day after it revealed that it had only shipped 208 Model X's, a car plagued with delays that left customers waiting for years. So investors were worried about the slow Model X sales. Sound familiar? Anyone? The same is being written now about slow Model 3 sales. US sales of the Tesla Model 3 plunged 74% in January, according to outside estimate.
So now we have a very similar situation like 2016. But does the situation where Tesla is in now warrant a drop by a factor of 2? Of course not. These FUD news are absolutely exaggerated and perfectly timed by huge investment banks and hedge funds to increase panic selling, to scare off investors and to scare off Tesla bulls. Because if the fluctuations are higher, they can make even more money on the way down with the shorts and on the way up with the longs. They of course don't release their downgradings and price stock estimates like the $10 target because they are so friendly and want to warn us. No, they do it surprise because they want to make insane profit. Surprise, I know, surprise. This is actually trolling on the highest level, and why the SEC doesn't intervene in these schemes is absolutely baffling. Actually, maybe it's not that baffling because maybe they are kind of involved themselves somehow, who knows.
But it's funny when the SEC rejected the application for a Bitcoin ETF because the market is supposedly strongly manipulated. But at the same time, shorters are manipulating the Tesla stock like crazy bastards, influencing the media to pour out articles to their liking, to always portray the narrative of the big hedge funds and investment banks.
This is manipulation on the highest level, and then those assholes do it with a company that actually has a goal to make the world a better place. When I see things like these, I'm kind of like, why is Elon Musk actually helping humanity? I mean, the way we're behaving, maybe we kind of deserve to be wiped out. But okay, I have to calm down. So what does this all mean for the current situation at Tesla? Well, in our opinion, and this is just our opinion, the current drop is very similar to the one 3 years ago in 2016. Same pattern, same reasons, same FUD stories by Morgan Stanley and co. Therefore we think, and again this is just our opinion, that we will soon witness a very sharp rebound and rise in the Tesla stock. Because the panic is always the highest near the absolute low. That's an old rule of trading and market psychology. Seen it plenty of times in the Bitcoin market.
This is not meant to be financial advice, by the way. We just give you our opinion on what is happening with Tesla stock because we think there is some brutal amount of manipulation going on and we couldn't help but to talk about it. So don't worry about the current price fluctuations. These are shorters doing their usual manipulation stuff. Long term, Tesla has a bright future. Why? Because electric cars have a bright future. Gasoline cars are dying and electric cars will take over. And therefore it's folly to think that demand for electric cars from Tesla will start to decline. And remember, in the end, innovation always wins. Always, or as Chamath Palihapitiya perfectly formulates.
People who short this company are so short-sighted. Being long innovation makes sense. Betting against entrepreneurs that are changing the world has never been a profitable endeavor. Why start now?
Oh man, this guy is awesome. It's wonderful to see intelligent people that see the bigger picture. You can find the link to the full interview in the description down below. It's really worth a watch, we promise.
So do you agree with us that the recent drop in Tesla stock's price is due to the same reasons as 3 years ago?
And if you find the content of this video interesting, please share it with your friends.
And be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any new and interesting videos on such topics.
So then, see you next time!